Myles Garrett to the Windy City is officially back on the radar, and the NFL world is absolutely losing its mind right now. We are talking about the most dominant defensive force on the planet potentially hitting the trade block, and if you're a fan of smash-mouth football, this is the moment you've been waiting for. The smoke is turning into a full-blown wildfire in Cleveland, and it's time to see if the front office in Chicago is ready to pull the trigger on a move that would change the hierarchy of the league overnight. Before we dive into these explosive trade scenarios, do me a massive favor and hit that like button, share this video with every football fan you know, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a breaking update. Is Myles Garrett finally done with the chaos in Cleveland? Or is this just another off-season cycle of frustration for the reigning sack king? The timing of this is what should have every single person watching this on high alert, because the Browns just made a coaching move that seems to have backfired in the most spectacular way possible. It was officially announced that the Browns are hiring Todd Monken as their new head coach, and while that might sound like a standard move on paper, the fallout behind the scenes has been nothing short of nuclear. Most insiders expected the job to go to either the pass game coordinator from the Rams, Nate Scheelhaase, or the man who transformed that Cleveland defense into a juggernaut, Jim Schwartz. Instead, they went with Monken, and the reaction from Jim Schwartz was immediate and reportedly incredibly volatile. We're hearing reports that after Schwartz was told he was being passed over, he was visibly upset, cleared out his office on the spot, and told other coaches in the building that he is finished with the organization. This isn't just a coordinator leaving. This is the architect of the best defense in football walking away because he felt disrespected. And that leads us directly to the face of the franchise, Myles Garrett. Question of the day: if you are the GM in Chicago and the Browns call you today, would you be willing to give up 3 first-round picks to land a once-in-a-generation talent like Myles Garrett? Or is that price tag simply too steep for a player on the other side of 30? Get into the comments right now and tell me why. I want to see the debate in the section below. The reason we are even discussing this is because Garrett, who is notoriously close with Jim Schwartz, didn't stay silent after the news broke. He took to Instagram and posted that famous meme of the exhausted worker sitting on a bench, the universal symbol for "Here we go again." It's a cryptic, subliminal message that screams frustration. Remember, it was only a year ago, back in February of 2025, that Garrett actually requested a trade during the Super Bowl media cycle. He was tired of the losing and the constant turnover. The Browns eventually smoothed things over by making him the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league with a massive 4-year, $160 million extension, but money can't buy wins. Garrett just came off a historic 2025 season where he absolutely decimated the NFL single-season sack record, finishing with a mind-boggling 23 sacks. He is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, he's a first-team All-Pro, and he's playing the best football of his life. But he is also north of 30 years old. If the Browns are entering a transition period under Todd Monken and they've already alienated their defensive leader in Schwartz, does it make sense for them to keep a superstar who clearly wants to play for a winner? From a Chicago perspective, the fit is almost too perfect. Imagine pairing a legendary pass rusher with the young, ascending talent already on that roster. The window is wide open right now, and adding a gold jacket player like Garrett could be the final piece of a championship puzzle. But what would it actually cost to get him out of Cleveland? The financials are tricky, but not impossible. His cap hit for next year is around $24 million, but for a team trading for him, that number could actually drop to under $10 million for the first season. That is an absolute steal for a guy who just put up 23 sacks. However, the Browns would have to swallow a massive $41 million dead cap hit to move him. That means the trade package has to be astronomical to make it worth their while. I've put together 3 potential trade packages that could actually make this happen. The first idea is a straight-up blockbuster. Chicago sends 3 first-round picks to Cleveland in exchange for Myles Garrett and a 3rd-round pick this year. It's a king's ransom, but you're getting the best defensive player in the game. Would you have the stomach to give up 3 years of first-round talent for a guaranteed Hall of Famer? The second scenario involves moving a star to get a star. In this deal, Chicago sends 2 first-round picks, a third-rounder, and star wide receiver DJ Moore to Cleveland for Myles Garrett. The Browns want to jumpstart their offense under Monken, and Moore would immediately become their undisputed number one target. For Chicago, it's a tough loss on offense, but Garrett transforms the entire identity of the team. The third and final trade idea is a mix of draft capital and youth. Chicago sends 2 first-round picks, a second-rounder next year, and young pass rusher Austin Booker to Cleveland. Booker is only 23 and playing on a cheap contract, giving the Browns a developmental piece at the same position to help bridge the gap. As we wrap this up, think about the message this sends to the rest of the league. Chicago isn't just looking to compete, they are looking to dominate. Adding Garrett to a defense that is already trending upward would create the most feared pass-rushing duo in the NFL. We're talking about a move that moves the needle from playoff hopeful to Super Bowl favorite. It's risky, it's expensive, and it requires a massive commitment of resources, but flags fly forever. If the Browns are truly in disarray after the Jim Schwartz departure, the time to strike is now before another contender jumps in and steals the prize. Think about the legacy of defensive greatness in Chicago. This is the franchise of Butkus, Singletary, and Erlicher. Bringing in a player who holds the single-season sack record isn't just a personnel move, it's a statement to the entire NFC North. Ryan Poles has shown he isn't afraid to be aggressive when the right player becomes available, and there is no righter player than Myles Garrett. Every single snap he plays demands a double team, which would leave the rest of that hungry defensive line with one-on-one matchups all day long. We are talking about a transformative impact that could realistically result in a top 3 defensive ranking for years to come. Imagine the fear in a young quarterback's eyes when they look across the line and see number 95 in a different shade of orange and blue. This isn't just about the sacks, it's about the 33 tackles for loss and the 3 forced fumbles he brings to the table every single year. Cleveland's loss would be Chicago's ultimate gain, turning a solid unit into a historic nightmare for the rest of the league. If the relationship with the Browns front office is truly fractured beyond repair, this isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The window to win with a quarterback on a rookie deal is exactly why you make this move. Don't wait for the draft to find the next Myles Garrett when the real one is potentially standing at the exit door in Cleveland. It is time to bring the most feared man in football to the lakefront and let him feast. So, I'm putting it back on you. Which of those 3 deals do you think is the most realistic? Or do you have a trade of your own that beats all of them? This story is moving fast, and the tension in Cleveland is at an all-time high. If Myles Garrett officially hits the market, expect the phones in Chicago to be ringing off the hook. Stay tuned, keep the conversation going in the comments, and as always, bear down.